and welcome to our webinar, Finding a geekStarter Project. Today, we are going to go through an overview of the available sessions that we will be covering in this webinar. We will explore these further in the next slide. This is an overview and the sequence of the available resources. There are 4 in-class guided sessions. Session 1 is an introductory session focused on understanding the United Nations goals for sustainable development. In Session 2, the team selects one of the UN goals as their problem space. Then, the team splits into groups to dive deeper into specific issues associated with their selected problem space. In Session 3, students continue to work in groups, with each group exploring their particular issue. This session is focused on ideating solutions, selecting and developing the best ideas, and organizing the information onto a business canvas. In the last session, each group prepares a project proposal and presents it to an audience made up of the rest of the team, potential customers, and other relevant community members. The proposals are evaluated against the project selection rubric, and one of the proposals is chosen as the team's project. At the end of each in-class session, students are assigned individual homework. The homework assignment builds on the activities conducted in class and has students gather relevant real-world information through interviews and research. Resources are grouped together in folders, and one folder being for each session. The following slides provide more detail about each of the sessions and the resources available. So let's begin with Session 1, United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The goal of Session 1 is to understand the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and why they represent a good starting point for finding a project. Another goal for Session 1 is to start narrowing down these goals to a few selected ones that matter the most to the team at the present time. It is designed as a guided interactive session where students will be working as a whole team, in pairs, as well as individually. Here is the outline of Session 1 and the resources available to support the team in meeting the goals for this session. The Understanding SDGs PowerPoint and the instructions in the slides notes will help you guide and facilitate the activities and discussions in this session. You will start with an introductory activity that will get students thinking about global problems and what matters to them. Then, you will engage the students in a discussion about the significance and reasoning behind the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and how the students' ideas tie to these goals. To explore the topic a little bit more and reflect on their own priorities, the students will then do the Building a Sustainable Future activity with a partner. For homework, ask students to follow the instructions on homework number 1 instructions handout and prepare their issues report for next time you meet as a team. Now for Session 2, selecting your problem space. The goal of Session 2 is to select one of the UN SDGs as the team's problem space or sandbox, and to analyze the issues mapped to the selected problem space and to identify key challenges. This session has 2 parts. Part 1 addresses how will the team select their problem space. Use the Selecting Problem Space PowerPoint and the instructions in the slides notes to guide and facilitate the activities and discussions in this session. Pair up the students and ask them to share and clarify their issues reports with their partners and do any revisions if needed. Then ask the pairs to prioritize their issues using the issue priority checklist and to fill out our top issues handout. Next, open the UN SDG chart in front of the whole team and get students to map out their top issues. Ask students to consider the interconnectedness of the SDGs and switch around some of the issues aiming to form larger clusters. The SDG with the largest cluster of issues wins. This will be the team's problem space. In Session 2, Part 2, students learn design thinking tools for analyzing and defining issues and problems, and then apply those tools to the particular issues mapped on their problem space. They address, what does this process involve? Use the issue analysis PowerPoint and instructions in the slides notes to guide and facilitate the activities and discussions in this session. Introduce to students 2 define methods created by DIY Toolkit. They are known as the problem definition and the causes diagram tools. Describe and clarify these tools and how they can help in breaking down and analyzing a complex issue. Go over the example showing how the tools help in analyzing a particular issue and identifying key challenges. Then, split the team into groups and ask each group to analyze one of the issues mapped to their problem space and to identify key challenges using the tools and example provided. So what will the team have accomplished by the end of Session 2? Well, each group will have identified key challenges related to their particular issue and worded them as broad, how might we questions. This starts the ideation, the next phase of the design thinking process. For homework, ask students to choose one key challenge and narrow it down to more specific how might we questions by following the instructions from Understanding a Key Challenge handout. This will include a method called 5 Whys, which helps in identifying root causes and possible solutions. Ask students to prepare their challenge report for next time you meet as a team. Then we have Session 3, brainstorming and ideating. In this session, students will continue to explore their separate issues in their groups from Session 2. The goal of Session 3 is to brainstorm ideas for possible solutions to each of the key challenges, as well as to select the best ideas and develop them further. And finally, another goal of Session 3 is to use the business model canvas to plan and organize the ideas and information. What will happen in Session 3? Use the ideation Lean Canvas PowerPoint and the instructions in the slides notes to guide and facilitate the activities and discussions in this session. Start the ideation exercise and guide groups through the selection of their top how might we questions. When you get to slide number 6, get everybody's attention and provide an overview of the Lean Business Model Canvas. Tell students that from this point onward, they will develop their ideas using the Lean Canvas. Next, the groups will spend some time brainstorming solutions using 2 methods, the Fast Idea Generator and Ideation Mashup, and will select their top best ideas with help from this ideas screening checklist. Then, the students will move on to developing and revising their top ideas by completing the Develop Your Top Ideas worksheet. For homework, students will share their group's ideas with potential customers and other relevant individuals and organizations and collect feedback and insights using homework number 3, Validating Ideas handout. And finally, Session 4, Project Selection. In session 4, each group will prepare and present a project proposal. The goal of this session is to develop several ideas into project proposals and to evaluate the proposals and select the team's project. It is important that this session involves not only the whole team, but also as many potential customers, stakeholders, and other relevant community members. In session 4, students will join again their groups, and you will use your Best Solutions PowerPoint to guide them through the session. First off, the groups will use the solution priority checklist to select their best solution. Then, each group will develop and map out their best solution onto their lean canvas. Next, each group will prepare a project proposal using their populated lean canvas and the planning guide. We recommend that groups check their proposals against the project selection rubric in order to get ready to present. The project proposals will be presented to the team, prospective customers, and other relevant community members, and the audience will evaluate the merit of each proposal using the project selection rubric. Finally, the individual scores will be tallied and the proposal with the highest score will be selected as the team's project. So thank you for joining me today. We hope you have a successful kickoff to your geekStarter projects. For any questions about the program, please contact Magda Pop at the provided email address.